Please don't. I'm too weak. Don't kill me. Please. Please. He needs the axe.
Welcome back to our podcast. Today, we'll be reviewing and discussing Godzilla vs. Kong. We just got back from the theaters. We just watched it. So, that's the topic for today. So, before we get into any spoilers, I thought we could just generally talk about the movie without any, descriptions.
We're not going to say who we are?
Well, they know who we are. They watched them all.
What if they don't watch them all? You got to say your name every
Go watch
There's
the other
no
ones.
special guest. It's the three that we had before.
Go watch our other videos if you want to know who I am.
Well, for you new viewers, this is Blake, Cynthia, and Evan.
God damn it. Alright. So, the first section of this, or the first little bit, we won't be talking about spoilers for the movie. So, if you care about not getting spoiled, you can watch this. I'll let you know when we cross over into spoiler territory. So, just without any spoilers, what did everyone think about the movie?
Cynthia, what did you think about the movie?
I thought the movie was pretty good. Blake talked about it a lot. He got me prepared. He gave me what I should expect and how powerful they are. And y'all are staring at me. But wait, it makes me more uncomfortable when you look away. Okay, so I thought the movie was pretty good. I don't want to give too much away, but it went the way I thought it would.
Evan?
Yeah, that's about how I felt. It was about what I expected. Nothing more, nothing less.
I mean, really, all you can say is, he was a Kong, she was a Zilla,
Godzilla's a woman?
No. Well, sometimes. Sometimes they are.
What does that mean?
There's different versions, There's different universes. And some of the ones, she's a mama and she has baby Godzilla.
But what was that one?
That one's a boy, I think.
You saw that?
That one may be gender
You
neutral.
saw the penis?
It may be gender neutral Godzilla.
I bet that penis is huge.
This may be a gender neutral Godzilla. But the thing is, I don't even know if reptiles have penises. I don't know too much about reptiles at all.
That'll take me 1 second to Google.
This has gotten so off topic so fast.
So quickly.
Two lizards.
So, Evan, would you recommend this movie as a giant monster fighting movie? Just in
Yes,
in that
yes,
sense.
definitely.
Would you recommend it as just a good movie?
To a baby? Probably not.
They actually have two
I would not let my
penises
baby see it.
called hemp penis. Yep. And have two. Oh,
Do they look
their
the
mating
same?
are two men.
Are they like duplicate penises, or is it like one? They just completely different from each other.
Did you just tell me that Godzilla
They're
is
inside.
gay?
What?
They're inside.
They're
They're not dangling out.
not an outie, but an innie.
Yeah, inverted.
I believe this Godzilla is gender neutral. Specifically,
Okay.
this one is not made to mate or have children. Rather, its sole purpose is to sell movie tickets.
Should I turn
I'll
the
buy
air
that.
off? I don't want it to be too loud.
So, you said it's a good monster fight movie, but just as a good movie, would you recommend it?
As a good movie, how? Like, is it
Like, just compared to is it a good movie? Like, someone just asked you,
Like-
is that a good movie? Like, not just as a monster fight movie, but just a good movie.
I mean, it depends. If you're just going for the the monster fights, yeah, it's good.
All right.
I thought it slacked a little bit on the acting,
Okay.
but
What about you, Cynthia? Would you say good movie, just a good fight movie?
So the fights were good. I knew you would like that part. The acting, mediocre.
I know always people say the problem with the Godzilla or any giant fighting monster movie is that there's too much human interaction, there's too many people, not enough monster fights. I think this one had a balance of while there was some plot. I feel like the plot was necessary to the movie. It wasn't too much, and I think the plot didn't stray away from the monsters. We'll get more into that, but I think it stayed with them enough that it wasn't too bad, and the fights were great. The fights were epic. So now I guess that'll be our spoiler-free part. It wasn't too much we can say without getting into it. So from here on out, if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want it spoiled, you should click off because we're about to talk about spoilers.
I'm about to go straight to the ending.
Straight to the ending.
And telling you exactly what happened.
Tell us who won the fight.
Before I say that, I'm just kidding. Let's start.
Okay. Well, first, let's start at the beginning. What I want to talk about, even before we get into the movie, the trailers of the movie.
Yeah, the trailers.
So the first trailer that we saw was the Fast and Furious John Cena edition. That movie looked...
I don't know if it convinced me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to buy that ticket.
In a world where every Fast and Furious movie is bad, this one somehow is still worse than those. Like,
what stood out to you as bad about
the number one thing that stood out to me, right? They were talking about John Cena's character and his like skills as like a person. They were like, he's trained with, you know, heavy machinery. He can pilot a helicopter. You know, he can assassinate a president if he wanted. He can drive stick. Like, anything you can do with a car was listed as like a high like class like military level like skill. You know, like they were like, he knows how to parallel park very well.
Yeah, all of those things take like a decade to perfect.
He's very dangerous human.
Yeah.
He's on like the America's Most Wanted because honestly his parallel parking is, you know, just above all else.
I've never seen a Fast and Furious, but from Fast and Furious fans, I've heard that they've gotten more unrealistic as they've gone along.
Right.
Which has kind of ruined it for them, even if you love Fast and Furious.
Now I haven't seen all of them. I've seen a few of them, especially when I was younger. I saw them because my parents watched them. I think that around, I want to say 5 is when they went from being about cars to they went to becoming about this like military like Ocean's 11 heist style thing with cars thrown in.
Yeah.
And there was a part in this trailer where
is it the same like producer and director?
I have no idea.
Okay.
You know the part when Vin Diesel and his sister are like driving on like a jungle, right? And they're driving in this jungle and they just jump right off a cliff and their car like somehow like grabs like a vine, like a 50-foot vine hanging in the sky, and their car like starts swinging around like Tarzan. And they didn't show where it lands, but there's no way that car lands and drives off from like being in the air. There's no way it can hold onto a vine like that.
Right. And yeah, I mean, I feel like people don't want like a completely realistic movie, but at some point it's too much.
Right.
It's too silly.
Like I told Evan in the theater, I looked at him and I said, the next Fast and Furious will have Transformers.
Yeah.
Like their car will transform and come alive, and
it's
they'll
like
just
everything they're pushing everything to the extreme. Like it's got to be a car hanging from a vine at the last second. They're being shot at with cannons. Oh, they got to be in a rainforest. You know, it's like why can't they just be in like a prairie in like Idaho or something?
Why can't they just race? The first Fast and Furious was about street racing.
Yeah.
And nothing else. I don't even think there were guns involved. Now, oh my God, my cat almost fell.
That is. I didn't know that. That's taken a dramatic turn. I didn't know the first one was
the last one, I think Hobbs and Shaw pretty much just ripped off the Avengers' whole like Infinity War storyline.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, yep, we're just gonna take that and we're gonna put cars in it.
Yeah, I feel like I guess it's leaning towards Transformers too. I don't know what main movie it's leaning towards, but
yeah.
I feel like Transformers has like affected a lot of movies. People are starting to try to aim towards that. But
Definitely Fast and Furious.
I'm not sure.
One thing before we get off the Fast and Furious. So The Rock used to be in them. I don't know if he's still in them or whatever, but The Rock used to be like the main villain, I think. And they like gave The Rock is gone, I guess, or whatever. They went straight for another WWE actor. Like they're like, you know what? Let's bring John Cena in. Like if the next Fast and Furious after this one doesn't have John Cena and The Rock just wrestling, I don't want to see it.
How did that become a thing? Like WWE people starting to be in like regular movies.
I think it started with The Rock.
Is it just because they're in really good shape and ripped and already can act, kind of?
Yeah, they're already actors.
Yeah.
But the thing is, their acting is not always the same because I watched CM Punk as a wrestler recently in a scary movie, and his acting was bad. And I love the guy. I think he's my favorite wrestler of all time. But his acting was atrocious.
Yeah.
I don't think it always carries over from like because wrestling's supposed to be cheesy.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I don't think John Cena or The Rock are good actors. So. You know,
they could, yeah, but they're above like, I don't know, if you took like an average like NBA player or someone like that,
right.
like they're better than them. Like they have more charisma than the average like NFL player or NBA.
Michael
player.
Jordan's a better actor than either of those two.
I completely agree with you.
So,
but
that might be just like a fluke that Michael Jordan's a great actor, but
yeah.
My problem is they always play like one of two roles. They are one of two roles, and that's all they can do. They're either like some kind of military trained, like super badass, or they're someone's parent who just doesn't have a mom and they're trying to figure it out, you know?
Yeah, and it just so happens that people love those two roles. Like
all mainstream movies.
You can stick those two dudes in who are pretty, charismatic. You can put those two dudes in any movie, and it's it'll sell tickets.
One thing I can guarantee you, no movie those two ever act in will ever be like a great movie. Like, you may like it. It may be something to take the family to. My cats are acting crazy. But it will never be like the next big movie, you know?
Yeah.
Alright.
Are they doing anything else besides acting now?
Oh, they both quit wrestling pretty much. I mean, John Cena does it like once in every 3 years, but they both quit.
Basically just acting and living off their money. Nice.
John Cena, just everywhere he goes, you know, fans like follow. So when wrestling, whenever they get kind of dry and they run out of ideas, they're like, "Hey, John Cena, we'll pay you $1 trillion to come bring your fans to our show."
Right.
So I don't really care about The Quiet Place 2. I don't have much to say about that unless you do.
No, not really.
Quiet Place 2 is coming out. That was in there.
Seemed like it could be good, could be bad.
Dune. Now that is an interesting movie because it had tons of big actors. Maybe the biggest cast of actors I've seen since Avengers. It had people from the Avengers. It had Batista. It had Zendaya. It had Jason Momoa in it. Tons of big actors. There were more I can't think of, but there were tons of them. The problem is the movie looks so generically bad, like the typical, like, you know, sci-fi, like, you're the chosen one, the world is ending, your family's, you know, being taken over by the evil force, there's a giant monster, you have to save us. It was so boring, but so many stars, I don't know what to think. I'm almost sure it'll be awful.
We'll guarantee you it's not going to be good.
It doesn't look good.
I'm going to go ahead and write up my IMDb rating and report it. I'm giving it a 1 star.
Like, it seems like it'll be like the acting will be on point. The writing of that movie will be so bad that none of their acting can save it.
We're just trying to prepare y'all. It's going to be bad.
So look out for Dune in theaters. Mortal Kombat was the star of the show to me as trailers go. It wasn't the funniest. It wasn't the goofiest. It wasn't the most, like, controversial. It looked good. It generally looked cool, you know? Like, I like Mortal Kombat, the game. I'm pretty excited to go see this one, I guess. I don't know if it'll be, like, great. I think it'll be on par with, like, an average good movie to go see.
Yeah.
It looked pretty...
I could agree with that.
Pretty convincing.
I thought the Dune trailer looked good because it had a lot of good actors in it. Or popular actors.
Right.
It interested me.
Yeah, definitely, it spiked my interest seeing all those big names. I'm just almost certain that it won't be good. Like, almost always, movies with no good actors or no known actors can be better just because, like, they spent the money on, like, preparing for the movie and the, you know, not worrying about special effects, but rather the plot and what, you know, what they're making.
Yeah. We should do a whole podcast on just, like...
On Dune?
No, just, like, watching people's trailers and doing, like, prejudgments.
Absolutely.
Like,
I would love to
people,
do that.
Yeah, like, doing ratings just on the trailer.
That'll be the next one. All right,
try to get as close as possible on, like, IMDb ratings.
So, a takeaway from the trailers, Fast and Furious, the John Cena edition, looks silly. Quiet Place looks like a Quiet Place. Dune, very interested to watch how bad it is. Mortal Kombat looks like a good movie. And so while we were here, when we were getting ready to start, we're starting the movie, right? The trailers are over, and as, like, our local theaters, like, you know, enjoy this IMAX Super Edition and all its 58 color glory, the trailer goes off. The theater just goes back to, like, as if there's no movie playing. Like, all the lights on the walls come back on, and we're just sitting there for like 10 minutes confused, like, what's going on. No one gets up besides, like, one guy at the very end, and then an employee comes in and is just like, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. We're gonna start the movie, and then they replay every single trailer, so everything we just talked about, we had to live that twice.
Yeah.
It was
which is why we're using this as an intro, because we know the trailers pretty well.
Yeah, this is, you know, pretty, like, well-known fact that we've seen the trailers twice.
Yeah.
And if I had to suffer through it, so does the audience.
If we had only seen it once, we probably would not be talking about it. And the dude who got up he was an angry redneck. He had enough.
By God, Lindy, I'm going to tell them they better start the damn movie. I love that guy. He was great. He was like, if no one else is going to tell him, I'm going to tell him because they obviously don't know. And as he got downstairs, the employee came out and was like, we know there's a problem.
Did he ever come back?
No, that's the thing, right? I think he got embarrassed and he, like, stayed in the bathroom for the next 2.5 hours. I definitely did not see him come back.
Well, he missed a free movie ticket.
Yeah, we got free movie tickets for our, like, 15-minute delay.
Yeah, which we are selling right after this. Just click,
I'll sign
click
it.
the link.
If you want my autograph, I will sign my movie ticket.
Yep.
So, start off with talking about the movie. what are your initial thoughts about it? And you can talk about spoilers now.
Like we were saying, I mean, it was good. It was a good fighting movie. The acting was lagging quite a bit. I don't want to call out any cast.
You said there's a certain actress who you did not like.
First movie I've seen her do since Stranger Things. That was the first real acting job I've seen, and I was really disappointed. I didn't know she was that bad of an actress.
Been in all. I'm pretty sure she's been in all 3 of the Godzillas, and I will say, she's always the same. You know, she hasn't like aged differently or whatever. All 3 of the Godzillas she's been in, she's always like the whiny teenage girl who's like, "But Dad, Godzilla's gonna save us." So I don't know how I didn't watch Stranger Things, but I definitely can agree. I didn't think her acting was like great in this, but I think it's weird that she's such a main character because she's not that good. As to where like some of the other characters who were more background were better, but they didn't get as much screen time. One thing I noticed about the movie I thought was kind of interesting, I guess. I get it because Godzilla has already had 2 movies leading up to this, just Godzilla and then Godzilla King of Monsters. The movie, even though I feel like it had Godzilla's name in it, it was mostly, I thought, going to be a Godzilla movie, focused primarily on Kong, or King Kong, the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the beginning is about him. I thought it was funny. He wakes up on his, like, Skull Island simulator. Mm-hmm. Or I guess they're on the island, but they're, like, in a dome on the island, so it's a smaller part of the island he's trapped in. Mm-hmm. And he wakes up like an average guy. He wakes up and he looks over and he's like, "Oh, I guess I'm waking up now." He goes to like a waterfall and like gets in the shower kinda, and he's just like living an everyday life in this like simulation almost. And then for whatever reason, he sees this little girl who's like, there to communicate with him, and he gets just angry and throws a tree at or like it was like a spear or something. He just chunks a spear at the roof, and he woke up and chose violence that day.
Yeah, he did. Which is when we found out it was a simulation.
Yeah, not a simulation. He's like trapped in a dome that's like a fake like environment.
Yeah.
Like if it's raining outside, you walk in the dome like sunny.
Yeah.
But I think it's good that it focused on him a lot. Like throughout the movie, it stayed with him because if you've even like I know like there are older King Kong and Godzilla movies, but just in this like cinematic universe, there have already been 2 Godzilla movies where we get to like know his character pretty well, or as much as you can know about a giant lizard. Mm-hmm. We don't know too much about Kong, especially like what he's doing with this movie. So I think it made sense that it followed him more. Mm-hmm. Also, I think they let it up that way, where they're kind of in the trailers. They made it out like Godzilla's a villain, and they don't want to immediately tell you he's not the villain by showing him like and what he's doing, but he is not the villain. So the movie starts off there. Pretty much, the woman who watches over Kong with the little girl, she's like, "We gotta find a bigger space." Godzilla is attacking a city in Florida. He's trying to, destroy something, and the humans can't figure out why he's attacking, so they think he's gone evil. So this one scientist teams up with this organization to bring Kong to the hollow earth is what they called it. Like a center of the earth is like a giant world. They wanted to bring him there to like lead them to the center of the earth. And along the boat ride, King Kong and Godzilla, square up. Godzilla like hunts him down, and this is where the fight starts. Godzilla drowns King Kong like nothing. Like I love that scene because I was definitely rooting for Godzilla to win, and I didn't think they'd have a fight where it was so like one-sided, but when they're fighting in the water, it shows clearly that like Godzilla can swim really well, and King Kong swims like a brick, and that is to say that he falls immediately in the water.
Yeah, which is understandable.
Yeah, I guess he's not really a lot of water where he lives.
Nope. He's not built to do the same things.
Not built to swim. He didn't practice either. Like I think like primates can swim pretty well.
Yeah.
But he's not around a huge body of water to practice.
Yeah.
And it kind of gave off that feel because Godzilla really just like nearly drowned him. Everyone like faked dead, so that he could like leave.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I won," and he walked off. Now this is where like we're talking about with like the movie takes a different kind of part where like it just focuses on the humans. The girl that you hate her acting, Millie Bobby Brown, teams up with her high school friend who is the kid from Deadpool 2, Fire Fist. And I don't know this guy. I don't know anything he's in, I don't think. but this older guy who's like a conspiracy theorist who works for this organization I mentioned earlier, and they are the acting is not maybe great with them, but they had the funniest like parts of they're like believing this conspiracies about like you can't drink tap water and everything else, which I can relate to because I love conspiracy theories. And it follows them a little too much throughout the movie. I can think you'd probably agree. Like it shows them a lot. Like they travel all the way from Florida to Hong Kong.
Yeah, I don't even think it shows them too much. I think it just didn't show them, like, I don't think like their little side plot was not exactly like cohesive.
It didn't really
It
matter.
was kind of all over the place. I think they should have shown them just as much or not more, but it just should have been more like organized how they were showing them. Like it just seemed like it would randomly show them
Right.
doing something.
So I think their whole purpose in the plot, I guess, was to reveal the bigger monster, Mega Godzilla.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was, once Godzilla got to China, it kind of showed Mega Godzilla in there, and I think it would have been a cooler reveal actually if like we never got to see Mega Godzilla like halfway through the movie. Just imagine those two are fighting all the way to China, right? And then you find out that Godzilla's not attacking humans; he's attacking this robot, Mega Godzilla, and then he appears, you know. But instead, what happened was these three misfits, you know, stumble upon a secret lab. Somehow they get into a secret lab in Florida. Or no, they get transferred from Florida to China first. And then they find this lab where they find Mega Godzilla, right? And
Yeah.
obviously they get spotted because they're the worst spies ever.
Yeah.
And like way too early in the movie, I feel like the bad guy was like, "Yep, that's right. We have a giant metal Godzilla." And now for the rest of the movie, we know that like nothing Godzilla does is out of like anger at humans. He's just trying to stop this giant robot.
Yeah.
So their plot was very pointless. Now the other characters' plots, the guys who are the woman and the little girl who are trying to help out King Kong, their whole plot is to get him to the center of the earth where this new world is, so he has room to run around. And the evil organization kind of like pays them like through technology to like help them get there, just to find out they're trying to like steal an energy source from this new place. And that story was much more better. It was so like as far as the human plots go, that one was much more interesting. It mattered. It kept the story like driven to like put these characters together. And so you know at this point, Godzilla's pretty much beaten King Kong one time in like a water fight. King Kong goes to his underground world. Now I thought this was one of the most interesting parts. How do you feel about there being just a giant world in the middle of the earth?
That was pretty awesome.
I mean, it's cool, but for like logistically, like, doesn't seem very realistic.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't at all.
But it is what it is. So they go to this underground world, and King Kong's like running around like a little kid. He's like looking at all the space he has now. Like,
Literally look like a little.
yeah, he looked like
a
a
little monkey.
like if you had a dog like trapped in a cage his whole life, and you put him in a yard. That's how King Kong was like. He's just like running around, like jumping on stuff.
Yeah.
And then these two dragon-looking things like come and like almost kill him. Like he almost loses another fight right there. Like the humans that are with him in like a spaceship have to like gun the like dragon thing down so that he can fight back. Which I think really leads to the point of King Kong is not that good of a fighter. Would you agree with this?
Yeah, I would probably agree with that.
He almost lost to some snakes in the sky.
Unless he's fighting something like easy, like a little airplane.
Like an airplane.
He could knock down an airplane or topple some buildings or.
I would even say he's worse. He was weaker than Ghidorah in the other movie. He might be the weakest kaiju there was, or weakest giant monster. So the next thing is they go to the center of this world and they find this like tomb where this energy source is, and he finds like a hammer, and I kind of hated the hammer because it's.
Why did you hate the hammer? Did you feel like it copied something?
Avengers. It's
did?
Thor's hammer, or it's not a hammer. It's an axe. Sorry, it's an axe. And it reminds me so much of Thor's like hammer / axe from Avengers because it almost like it shoots out energy, like kind of. Well, it doesn't shoot it out, but you can tell it like conducts this energy, which it looks exactly like Thor's lightning. It's blue.
What was the point in the hammer? I don't know if I picked that up.
So you know how they talk about there was like a war between King Kong and Godzilla, right?
Yeah.
I think it was because Cynthia had pointed out to me the skull. I think that he finds the axe buried in was actually like kind of like a lizard skull, like it was like a king or a Godzilla type skull.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the point is these earlier versions of King Kong used the axe to like catch their energy, like their lasers,
Mm-hmm.
because it was the only way of fighting back. It could like conduct their energy and use it against them.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. I'm okay with that. I hate how it looked exactly like Thor's axe. I hate how he used it pretty much the same way. And then like there's the point of like that axe was like plot armor almost. Like he couldn't beat anything without the axe. But when he gets the axe, he becomes like a million times stronger somehow.
Yeah. You think that's why they put it in there, or like that's one reason?
I think it's a way to keep Godzilla fans like myself happy and knowing that Godzilla's stronger.
Yeah.
And also letting King Kong fans like have their day with like, all right, he's pretty strong. He's got an axe.
Yeah.
So from this point,
I'm a King Kong fan, by the way.
You're a King Kong fan.
I don't necessarily think he's like more powerful. I like.
You like his
I like
moves.
King
That's
Kong
fair.
more. Yeah.
How do you feel about your boy losing?
I'm okay with it.
You're okay.
Yeah.
See, I would have not been okay. I would have not done this podcast if Godzilla lost. I was prepared for a draw. Like I was prepared for them to like team up and not fight at all, and I would have been okay with that. But if he lost, I was not going to do this podcast. I wasn't going to go to work tomorrow. Everything tomorrow would be just me sitting at home, crying, and watching the other Godzilla movies where he didn't lose.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I didn't know if you were going to like the ending, like how the ending turned out.
I did. Yeah, the ending is fine. But I'm glad because I hate... I talked about how I hate Batman vs. Superman in the first podcast we did. I hate that they build up this fight for the movie, right?
Yeah.
Just to have like them not fight. Or them to like cut it short and be like, alright, let's team up.
Yeah.
So
spoilers starting now.
This movie didn't do that. There's like they pretty much described it as like 3 rounds.
Did you give the warning about the spoiler?
I did that. We did that already.
Okay, good. I don't want people to get mad. That's the only controversy in itself.
So
we will add extra warnings in there.
In the first water,
yeah, we're gonna cut that.
Warning.
We're gonna copy that. And
copy that audio.
Copy that and paste
cut
it.
it
And
and paste
have
it.
the rest of the video.
Just
and then we're gonna everything we're saying right now. We're gonna cut that.
So
Let's just have a video of me saying,
"This is all being
warning."
cut. This is all being cut.
Like on those scary video playlists.
There's gonna be a massive just hole in the middle of this podcast.
So to go into the fight,
and we're gonna play "Living on a Prayer," and it's gonna
living on a prayer
for like 30 seconds, and then we're gonna continue the.
All right. That sounds like a terrible idea. So to describe the fight to you, it happened in about 3 rounds, kind of. The first one was they were in the water, like they were trying to get Kong across the world on a boat. Godzilla swims up and just drowns his ass. Like it was ruthless. That was a clear win for Godzilla. The next time they fight is when they both get to China. So before the fight, like right after King Kong finds his hammer, this energy source starts blowing off, and Godzilla can sense it. So he shoots a drill with his laser into the center of the earth, and then everyone kind of climbs out of there, and they start fighting again. Now from here, King Kong has got this new like fancy Thor axe, and he starts like using it. And even still, like with them both being on land, they're on like China. I feel like it was still so like close, even with him like having like a steroided axe, Godzilla still looked pretty strong. And I think the only thing that like from a viewer standpoint that made me think King Kong won that round was that his axe can like just absorb Godzilla's lasers. So like Godzilla goes for a laser attack and he just kind of catches it with the axe the whole way and then hits him in the head. Godzilla falls down for about like 2 minutes. And everyone who's on like Team King Kong in the movie, all like the people who are the scientists and everything who are helping him are like, my boy won. He won this round. He got it, And then like immediately Godzilla gets back up. To put that in perspective to that first fight, King Kong gets knocked out by Godzilla and nearly drowned to death. And all the way from like wherever they were outside of like Skull Island to Antarctica, he was passed out the whole trip. Like he was like knocked out cold. When Godzilla got knocked down by this axe, he fell down for like maybe 30 seconds or whatever, and he stands right back up, and the fight immediately starts over. I don't even know if you can argue that it was a round, or so much that like he got like knocked down for a minute. But then they fight again. I think Godzilla understands the axe and how it works now, and Godzilla just like biting him, beating him up, whatever. And then eventually he starts cutting his chest, and like you can see he's getting scratched up. And he just kind of like holds Godzilla holds King Kong down for a second, and he like looks over at him, and he doesn't kill him, but he's like kind of like showing him like, I won, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And King Kong just kind of like, he's like, whatever, and he passes out. And again, when they said that King Kong had won, he pushed Godzilla down for a second. And at this point, they acknowledge in the movie, they're like, his heart's not beating fast enough, he's about to die. Mm-hmm. Like, Godzilla almost killed this man twice. So I can tell you, anyone who goes around, whoever they were cheering for, if they tell you, oh, it was like, they kind of like came to terms, no one won. Godzilla won that fight. Would you say so as a King Kong fan? Mm-hmm. Because I've already seen on like Facebook people saying like no one really won. They came together, and I'm like, bullshit, Grandma. Somebody won.
Wait, who's Grandma?
I don't want to say. I don't want to say.
We're going to shine the spotlight on someone's grandma.
Not my grandma.
All your grandmas are at risk right now.
All four of them.
Cyberbullied by Blake.
If you have a grandma, lock her up.
And she's been posting stuff about this movie.
If your grandma votes for King Kong, she's on Team Kong, I'm coming for her old ass. But so just to talk about the fight, there was a clear winner. Godzilla easily gave that man the smoke. So at this point,
he was fighting two dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, he was knocking out everybody.
Yeah.
King Kong didn't have a chance.
No, it wasn't close. So, but at this point, and that's with a super axe, by the way. Yeah. So Godzilla didn't use any weapons. At this point, the scientists are hooking up Mechagodzilla telepathically with the new energy source they got from the Middle Earth, and
with the Asian Johnny Depp.
The Asian Johnny Depp. Yeah, he sits in. Have you seen the other movie? He sits in Ghidorah's dead skull, and he gets on a pilot suit. He puts on a VR helmet, and he goes into this giant robot's mind. And this time with the new power source, it doesn't work. It just kills Johnny Depp. It just kills him dead. He puts on the helmet and he gets electrocuted. And then the robot wakes up, and the main villain, the guy who's over this evil corporation, is over here giving a speech. He's like, my money will pave the world will change, I will rule this place like Donald Trump. He's giving a huge speech, right? Yeah. And then as he's doing it comedically, the robot walks up behind him, and he's like, is there something behind me? Like a cartoon. And then the robot just obliterates him out of the earth. So now there's this rogue metal Godzilla, which I think they call him Mechagodzilla is the term. I don't know if it's Mecha or Mega. I've always called it Mechagodzilla. But Mechagodzilla is roaming around. He's just an AI at this point. He thinks on his own.
Yeah.
And this is another part. Before we get into that fight, this is another thing I hated about the movie with the Bobby Brown part and those other two that were with her. The kid who played in Deadpool, who's done pretty much nothing this whole movie except for just be a punching bag of humor where people make fun of him. He's gets in hacker man mode. He looks at this corporate computer that runs the robot, and he's like, maybe if I can hack it, I can stop the robot. And he goes over there and he's like, let me guess the password. And he starts just typing junk in that's gonna work, right? Yeah. And I was gonna be so angry if he guessed the password. Yeah. If I was prepared to leave the theater if he guessed the password. I was gonna be like, I quit. I'm not watching this. That ruined the movie. But he didn't guess the password. Instead, this other guy is always carrying around whiskey, I think, that his wife had given to him after she passed away, or right before she passed away. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I guess I'm gonna drink if I'm gonna die. And the kid's has a Jimmy Neutron
drinking.
Yeah, he has a Jimmy Neutron brain blast. He's like, wait a minute, drinking, alcohol, dead wife, and whiskey. And he snatches this man's whiskey and just pours it down this computer's conveniently placed alcohol tube.
Yeah, very efficient.
It just has a tube perfect for destroying it with the alcohol. Yeah. And he's just pouring alcohol in it. And then he's like, I did it. And then and outside of this there's a fight happening. And I'll say this, we'll back up a little bit. Before this moment, Mechagodzilla was beating the piss out of Godzilla. If I thought that Godzilla was beating King Kong laughably, this was not even a fight. Mm-hmm. He was kind of just dragging him across the street, and he was smiling. He was just punching Godzilla. It was like watching someone's first like MMA fight ever, and they're fighting Brock Lesnar, and they're just like, all right, good luck, kid. And the kid, like, he gets knocked out with the first hit, and the rest is just Brock Lesnar throwing around a limp body.
Yeah,
it was bad. And he's about to, like, he's opening up Godzilla's jaw and about to, like, blast him with a laser, like Godzilla's signature, like, death kill. And King Kong runs in and, like, elbows him in the head, and they start boxing. And so now Godzilla starts beating the hell out of both of them. And he's just like, well, fuck it, I'll kill both of you, you know? So he's like punching Godzilla, he's beating up King Kong, and it's still not even like a fair fight. They're still like kind of losing. And then this is the point where the kid's like, alcohol, and he just pours whiskey down like their computer system, and this somehow causes a giant death robot to like glitch out, and he starts like stuttering, and then King Kong starts like hitting him with the axe. And he holds up the axe, and Godzilla shoots the axe with a laser, like so, like conveniently, and it like charges the axe up because it's Thor's axe.
Yeah, had he not poured the alcohol, who do you think would have won?
Godzilla would have killed
he
them.
Was killing everybody.
The end of the earth would have happened if not for that kid's alcohol abuse. And so now the axe is charged up, and he like cuts off Godzilla's limbs, he chops his head off or whatever, he like holds it up. And so I think they did that to kind of be like, you know, look, King Kong got to win. And then now, like, the dust is settled, you know, the kid's, like, waving his whiskey bottle around in victory, you know. All the parents have, like, rejoined their lost children who went on this Godzilla adventure. And now King Kong's just sitting there, like, he's, like, laid up against a building, like, he's, like, out of breath, and he's just, like, over there, like, trying to recover. And Godzilla walks up with his, like, buff ass, and it's like looks like he's about to like just, you know, finish him off, and instead they just have like a stare down, and Godzilla swims back into the ocean.
And they kiss.
They little monster kiss for you.
Yeah.
I thought they might kiss. They got real close.
Godzilla grabs King Kong's pecs, and
gay.
There's a little tail
gay
action.
Godzilla versus gay God Kong.
God Kong. They really did get close in that scene. They were like nostril to nostril, and it's like they were like. And then walked away. So Godzilla swims back into the ocean, and he goes off. King Kong is sitting there like, well, there goes my love. I'll see her again someday. He you know, kind of like gets up, and everyone's happy. Then it cuts, and then there's a scene where King Kong's like running through the Middle Earth again, the Hollow Earth, and it's got the scientists who were with him the whole time, kind of like living with him now and being like, this is my big boy. Look at him climbing like a strong man. And that's the end. I thought there was going to be a post-credit. I looked it up. That part with him running around at the end was going to be the post-credit scene, but they couldn't find a way, from what I understand, to cut the movie off. So instead of having it be a post-credit scene, they just put it at the end to like be the movie ending, which was kind of interesting. So one thing I want to just, you know, of all the things we're going to talk about, I don't really know how I feel about how they ended it, because every other Godzilla movie's ended with like there's something else, you know, like there's something else coming. Even the last one did. So now it's like this one didn't end that way. Is there going to be another like King Kong movie? You know, what's coming next? Yeah, I think maybe they did that so like if they need to end it, like if they don't make any more movies, they don't make any more movies. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be very sad if that was the last Godzilla movie of this like era that we get, but I also would say it was a good last movie. It was better than the other two. It was really well done. How do you feel about the ending?
Have they made a special ending for the other Godzilla movies?
Yeah, like a post-credit scene.
Okay.
So like in the last one, he fights Ghidorah, which is like a three-headed dragon.
Yeah.
And he the post-credit scene has Ghidorah's like middle head ripped off and like laying to the side, from what I remember. And Ghidorah's dead body's over there, and like scientists are over there like doing research on him. And there's a character in the old Godzilla movies called Mega Ghidorah, who's like the version of Mega Godzilla. How like this one's just a robot Godzilla. There's also a robot Ghidorah, except for he's only his middle head is a robot, I think. So he's still like mostly whole. He's just got a robot head and like robot wings. I thought that actually was leading up to being Mega Ghidorah in this movie. I didn't know there was gonna be a Mega Godzilla. I thought it was gonna be Mega Ghidorah, which would have been like pretty cool too. So I don't know if they just did that to, you know, fool us or what, or if they just, I don't know. But I also think Mega Ghidorah is supposed to be like the ultimate rival for Godzilla. So I think they may be saving that one if they do another movie. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was kind of weird how they're like, what if we used Ghidorah's head for a robot Godzilla?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought, it was going the other way, but it was whatever. I don't know if they're going to do another one, but how did you feel about it? How it ended? You are happy with it, or?
Yeah, I mean, I was fairly happy with it. I didn't have a problem with the way it ended. I thought it was a good ending.
That's fair. Let's see. Let me look down my list of things to talk about.
Cynthia, did you like the ending?
Cynthia?
Yeah.
She's asleep.
She's gone.
We
She's
had
out.
We had to wake her up.
This is now a two-man podcast.
Her face was on the table and she was drooling all over the table.
So here's
I'm not. I'm awake. I'm just relaxed. Maybe too much.
here's something I want to talk about. You probably don't know because you don't watch Godzilla. At least I don't think you've watched any of them.
I watched the older one.
The older ones. And the original version of Mega Godzilla, he's like a big chrome Godzilla. He's not like all wires and like small rusted parts put together.
Mm-hmm.
He's like one shell robot. He's almost actually, instead of having people like control him from like outside,
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember him kind of being like a Power Rangers type thing, where like people were in the robot actually like controlling it, like it was a big ship.
Mm-hmm.
And this one obviously wasn't. It didn't look like it was one solid piece. It looked like a bunch of like random parts put together to shape up like a Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
It looked much more mechanically, which made it look more like realistic. Like if you think about what a robot would look like,
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool. It looked weird at first, but then I kind of got used to it, and I think it looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it kind of looks weird because the other, like Godzilla and King Kong, look just pretty much like themselves from the old movies, just updated. He looked very different, but it was fine. It was cool.
Yeah.
And this, I thought this was kind of weird. How many humans died in this movie? There was a scene pretty early on where they're on the like the boat taking King Kong across the ocean, and when Godzilla attacks, he's like destroying boats and stuff. The first thing he does is he cuts straight through like a carrier ship, and everyone on that ship definitely dies.
Yeah.
Then he grabs another ship by the his tail and like swings that one underwater, so they all die. And then there's a part where you can clearly see a human die. Like those, you don't see people die. It's just kind of known. When there's one guy getting in like a plane and like trying to fly, and you see Godzilla's hand just like cut right through it. Like you see him like die.
Yeah.
And then later on, when they're in the middle of the earth, there is a part where the evil like guy's daughter is trying to escape with this space material. Or it's not space, but this like weird material that's gonna charge that robot. And King Kong like grabs her like helicopter and just slowly like squishes it. You don't see them die because it explodes.
Was that the hot girl?
Yeah, Evan, was that the hot girl?
I don't know if there was a hot girl. Which one are you talking about, Cynthia?
The one you said is the hot girl.
Before
Which girl did you think was hot?
No, you said that.
Before we started this podcast, I want to be clear. Evan said two things to me. He said Bobby Brown's acting was not very good. Also, who was that hot girl? He made me believe he didn't even watch the movie because he was like, I don't really know what she was doing the whole time. Like I saw her in a plane like 2 times, but she was hot.
And it conveniently like flashed on her cleavage for a scene, just conveniently.
I didn't see that.
It like was nothing but Godzilla, and then cleavage.
She wasn't even around Godzilla.
Just conveniently.
She wasn't even around Godzilla.
That's why I'm wondering what she was up to, like why she was doing. She had a lot of screen time.
She did.
Oh yeah.
I told us what she was doing.
Yeah, she had a lot of screen time for not really saying anything or being essential to the movie.
That is inaccurate.
Which is kind of what threw up some red flags for me.
She died.
She was just a stripper or something?
No.
For the show?
Who brought the stripper on a plane? How did you feel about her getting crushed by King Kong?
That was okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was expecting that.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, had she had less of a part in the movie, she probably would not have gotten crushed. If she would have just stayed home.
I guess that makes sense.
And just not.
If she wasn't okay, so from your logic, if she wasn't a part of the movie, she wouldn't die.
Yeah.
But then wouldn't she know she existed?
I'm just saying that's how the movie was. But she could have stayed home and she would have been okay.
She couldn't. That was her job.
Unless she lived in one of those high rises that was destroyed by King Kong.
She was not at China. She was She was underground in that other world.
She was on so many airplanes.
I was watching the movie. Oh my god.
Cynthia, was that the only hot girl you paid attention to?
Yeah. She was hot though.
For anyone interested in this movie, just for the hot girls, there was
Only one. She was only
very
Wasn't
one.
even hot.
disappointed amount of hot girls in the movie. There was only one. What killed me was this woman is definitely Asian, or she's of Asian descent. And Evan, I asked him when I was trying to clarify. I said, "The Asian one?" And he's like, "No, the one who got crushed in the airplane." And I was like, "That's the Asian one." And he's like, "No, it wasn't her. Another one." So you don't even remember her ethnicity.
Was she Asian? That's
She definitely was of Asian descent. Now, I'm not saying she was Asian. She spoke English. She might be like an Asian American. I don't know like her specific nationality or race. All I'm saying is that if I was trying to pick her out in the movie, I would say, "You mean the one who was kind of Asian looking?" And you were like, "No, the one who died in the helicopter."
Oh my god.
That's not no.
That's
That's
not her.
Who is that? Oh, that's the boy. He looks like
Okay.
Fire Fist.
We're not gonna say what I just saw.
He looked up the guy who plays Fire Fist, and he said, "Who's this girl?"
I mean,
It's pretty insulting.
you thought the same thing. You
Well,
said that's not even.
that wasn't a
quote.
good picture
You
of-
said, "quote," that's not even her.
That's not a good picture of him, to be fair. He shouldn't have grown his hair out that long. Or at the very least, if he grows his hair out, he should also have facial hair.
Cynthia, do you remember this person in the movie?
That's
He's
a little
just
boy.
walking around showing everyone pictures of the little Fire Fist boy with long hair.
You did call that little boy hot?
No, I said he's Fire
Not
Fist.
pedophiles on here.
Oh my
This is
god.
not going to turn into the Shane Dawson podcast. Shane Dawson, he talked about nasty stuff. That's why he's canceled. There you go.
I don't know what's happened. This was supposed to be a review about Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't know what you two have made this.
Everything.
Well, if you two know so much, alright, let me get your expert ideas. What would you have done to make the movie better?
Cynthia.
Post credit to get excited about the next movie.
That's the thing. I don't think there will be another one. It might be the end of
That's
Godzilla.
sad.
I know. But at least it was a good one to go out on.
Why can't I just have my opinion? Why you have to add to it?
I didn't.
This is why I have to be like,
Yeah, this
I
I
girl.
like
was
this
just
part
adding
because
on to your opinion.
She's Hispanic. She's not even close to Asian.
No, she was Asian in that movie.
Whoa!
She was.
How
She
can
was
someone be
hot.
Asian in a movie?
Yeah,
she definitely was like a Megan Fox one.
Yeah, she was a Megan Fox type girl.
she was not.
Okay.
She was not Megan Fox. Okay, at least she was the best actress in that movie by far.
Who are we talking about? The hot girl?
I guess the one who blew up in the plane.
Yeah, she looks like Megan Fox, like that type of person.
But she looked like Asian.
No,
she even
she
talked a
didn't.
little Asian. She was like,
Blake's obsessed with Asian.
No, I'm
And
not.
You said hot girl. The way he relates in his mind is Asian because he has an Asian obsession.
I do not.
You know that's part of the Asian hate movement because people sexualize them.
I don't sexualize anyone. I have a wife.
That's why you called her hot,
Who
I
said
didn't. Evan called her hot.
and that's why you associate her with the Asian.
I thought she was Asian. I'm not trying.
I think it's
Obsessed
funny
with
that y'all
Asians.
got mad that I was like, I put a spotlight on this, but apparently we're digging up some. Apparently y'all focused on it too.
No.
No,
I only focused on
trying to
Godzilla.
kill her.
The
Yeah.
Godzilla. I don't care what ethnicity she is. She's dead now. Her body is squished up against King Kong's furry little palms.
Well, she was inside the ship, so there was a buffer.
No, he took her out and went.
No, he didn't.
How did you know?
I watched the damn show.
Apparently, I'm the only one who watched it. I don't know if that's true.
I think this is 48 minutes. Okay.
This is true. We are 48 minutes in.
Just got 12 more minutes, boys.
Why do you hit a time limit on all our videos? Like, just let us talk. Let us have content.
Yeah, it kind of
Well, what
throws
are we
me
going to
off.
talk about now?
Evan, I want to hear your take on how bad the acting was.
I'll give you an overall review.
Okay,
You didn't get my overall review.
that's true. No,
I think the action, like
no, I got the overall review.
some of the fighting scenes should have started earlier. It took too long for the fighting scenes to start. You know?
That's true.
Like, I wanted to see more of Kong and more of Godzilla
That's fair.
quicker.
What I meant was like, why did you think the acting was so bad? Like,
I mean, I don't know. I'd have to. I
Who
don't.
would
I don't
you
know what we're wrong.
Who would you say?
Really, it's just the actors. For
Yeah,
him,
it was really
sounds
just.
like.
Yeah, it was really just bad acting.
Who would you say the best actor was?
The black dude. He
Yeah,
was
the
funny.
black
He
dude.
was funny.
The black dude.
I thought it was wrong to talk about people, you know, like don't identify them by color or race. Okay, he was just the engineer.
Yeah, the
You two aren't gonna come at me with the Asian dude and then say something like that. He was an engineer.
He also had a podcast, so
He did. He's just like us. He had a podcast that no one listens to.
I know what y'all should talk about next time. Conspiracy theories.
That's also what he talked about in his.
See, I
know,
guess
that's what I'm getting
like
at there.
if he was one of the better actors and he was more interesting, like I think they should have shown like more of him instead of
Yeah.
just hopping from actor to actor. Like just
That's true.
give us more of him and give us more. Like I feel like he wasn't as consistent. They should have made him more consistent.
I
and,
feel like they pushed what's her name, Bobby Brown, into like the spotlight, and he was just like a supporting character for her, I guess.
yeah,
And
because that type of that can be a main actor. I mean that's
Yeah.
a main actor in a lot of type of movie, like crazy conspiracy scientist type of people.
my problem with him is that like he was almost used as a tool by her. Like she's just a teenage girl, I think, in that movie. She can't break into like this scientist, you know, place. She can't do all this stuff. So she kind of was like, "Hey, unlock that door for me," you know. Like she just used him as a way to get into stuff.
But he got her into it also. Because he had this podcast, she listened to it, and that's how she got that
She's
mindset.
into it because she was in the the other one. She knew Godzilla. I mean, she did listen to the podcast, but that's just kind of how they introduced each other.
Right, but I wouldn't say, like, she used him, is what I'm saying.
But I know what you mean. What I mean is that like
He's just the adult in the film.
right, like
Because she's an actual child.
she needed like someone to like because obviously it would make no
But why
sense.
is that a bad thing? She's
If-
an actual child.
No, I'm not saying it's bad, but it would make no sense for like a 17-year-old to break into a scientific facility, like hiding a robot, and they knew that. So they just used him as like a bridge to like get her from like.
Well, duh.
Well,
But why is that a bad thing?
I'm just saying like they didn't use his character very well. It was just like he was funny in the moments they let him be funny, but he could have been the leader of that trio. I think like, she didn't need to be because she's bad at acting, according to Evan.
Do y'all think she's bad at acting?
I've never watched Stranger Things, so the only thing I have to go off of are the Godzilla movies, and I would say yes, she is bad at acting.
My biggest problem with her is she has, like, a stylist, from what I understand, and they, like, on, like, her fashion walks, whatever she does, you know, those important things, like, all the, you know, those big things she
Fashion
goes to.
shows, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she does fashion shows, but, like, big events.
Right.
She dresses like an old lady. That is like my biggest problem with her. And her makeup brand came out, and I get it. It was supposed to be like natural for like kids and stuff, but it turned out it was just bad.
All right, so here's a question for you guys. We'll stay on topic with King Kong and Godzilla. What's her name? Millie Bobby Brown. Who would win in a Godzilla versus King Kong style fight between Millie Bobby Brown and Billie Eilish?
Billie Eilish.
Billie
You
Eilish.
think so?
Yeah.
Billie Eilish doesn't have any acting, credentials, so maybe this Millie Bobby Brown girl can do more stunts. You know, like what is Billie Eilish gonna do when this girl?
I bet she
I
has a
didn't see any.
stunt double.
I didn't see any stunts in that movie.
She's
Slid down that little car.
yeah, she did slide down a little chute.
That's not very. I bet she had a stunt double.
I mean, it's a slide. What do you need a stunt double for? Just to get down a slide?
Okay, let's ask Brie Larson. She got a stunt double for her fucking ass.
We have Bree on the phone. Bree,
I would guarantee you that Millie Bobby Brown and Billie Eilish together could beat Brie Larson in a fight.
In
who do you think would win in ping pong?
in Billie Eilish's
Between
music
same
video,
two?
she took like literally black ink to her eyes. No stunt double, she did it.
yes,
What does that mean? What do you mean black ink?
It was an ink, but it was like dye pretty much to make it look like she was bleeding black.
Did y'all know you can get your eye tattooed?
Yes.
Like black? Like there are people who get their eyeballs, like the white area of your eyeball,
seen
completely tattooed black.
all right.
That's
Here's a hypothetical for you.
Right.
Between Millie Bobby Brown, Billie Eilish, and Brie Larson, who would you trust to tattoo your eyeball?
Billie Eilish, I guess. I don't know the third one.
Brie Larson, that's Captain Marvel.
Okay. Yeah, Billie Eilish.
Okay.
I could see her actually doing a pretty good job.
I think they would all be
Whereas
awful.
the other ones would probably ruin me. Ruin my eyes and
This
One's an actual child.
one is a literal child.
A child?
Yeah.
17?
That's true.
I mean, I guess the technical term is teenager.
I guess the other one's 18.
I don't see anyone under the age of 22.
Billie Eilish is 19.
Billie Eilish is 19.
Look up.
I think she just turned 19, yeah.
Okay.
She's either 19 or 20.
She's the same age as my sister, so she should be.
Well, the age doesn't matter. I would definitely let her tattoo my eye. Regardless of age.
I would argue
Yeah, she's 19.
that Millie Bobby Brown
About to be
has
20.
lived less time and therefore been through less stress in this awful world and probably has a steadier hand. Just from like a pure like scientific standpoint, she probably has the steadiest hand because she's endured the least amount of trauma. At least mathematically, it makes sense. Like I can't, like of course trauma depends on the human. Like, you can't like put a math equation on that, but just scientifically speaking, she's probably gone through less because she's lived a less amount of time.
Right.
So I would let Millie Bobby Brown tattoo my eye
Okay.
if I had to pick between the three. Now, what? Share what's so funny?
I'm loving how quiet y'all were for a second.
I'm thinking about how can I bring this back from like these three actors / singers and bring this back into the Godzilla movie. Would you rather let King Kong or Godzilla tattoo your eye?
Definitely King Kong.
The thumbs, right?
Yeah.
'Cause he has thumbs.
Yeah, I feel like he would do a terrible job. But I would rather him do it instead of Godzilla.
That's Godzilla would probably like be faster to kill you than.
Yeah.
Like King Kong's pretty like chill with humans as long as they're good to him. He's almost like a
As long as you're a girl.
he was cool with that guy after the end.
That's true.
I think as long as you're like cool with him, and you treat him like respectably, he's okay with you. Like he has no like anti-human agenda.
Mm-hmm.
As for Godzilla doesn't have an anti-human agenda either, but he's more like benevolent. He's like he doesn't really care about your life. He's definitely not a protector by any means. He's just likes to go around and fight stuff that's tougher than him.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so King Kong goes back to live in this like hollow world, right? Why doesn't Godzilla go to the hollow world? I mean, I guess there's not as much water and he likes to swim in the water, but just from like a standpoint of not having humans around all the time.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think they just had to separate those two, like just like for a plot reason. Like they couldn't have them around each other all the time because Godzilla will fight anything and everything.
Yes. I need to go back and watch my movies and work my way up to that movie.
Are you just gonna watch the new Godzillas?
Mm-hmm.
We should have a movie marathon, like a month-long marathon, where we watch and review every Godzilla movie from the original, like, black and white Godzilla to this new one.
I completely agree.
All 57 Godzilla movies. Even the ones in non-English that we can't understand. I think,
I don't even know if it really matters if you can understand it.
Yeah, there's not much plot.
It's pretty straightforward.
Honestly, back then, the Godzilla movies were very much like, there's a giant monster attacking, right? And I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, us as humble Japanese people with our jet fighters can't stop this monster. And then Godzilla would show up, and they'd be like, oh my god, now Godzilla's here. And then he would start fighting the bad guy, and they'd be like, okay, I'm cool with this.
Mm-hmm.
That is the plot to every Godzilla movie. You probably could prove me wrong on that. I don't care for you two. Let's leave it at that. Godzilla's plot has always been as simple as two monsters fighting and the world watching.
It used to be, well, they need to do like a claymation one.
I think the old ones, not claymation, but they were definitely like,
It's close to it.
yeah, like,
I don't know.
Actually, I think that they were people dressed up, like in costumes.
Yeah.
But it looked like kind of claymation-y.
Yeah.
I think the
Do you like
later
claymation?
ones.
Do you like claymation?
It's cool.
Compared to like animation?
I can't do it, but I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Wallace and Gromit's a great like version of that, and Chicken Run. Those are all good movies.
Chicken Run. That's a good one.
I like short claymations. Like there's a YouTube video. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
But it's very creepy and it's done in claymation.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of like full movies being in claymation.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit much, but yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
I have a VHS collection from when I was a kid, and I have two VHSs that stand out to me. The second one I'll talk about in a minute, but the first one I can think about, it's not really claymation. It's more like these like Barbie doll, like plastic figures. That's what they look like to me. And they're filmed like these dolls are kind of like claymation, like they move them around. It seems like to me, and it's a Pocahontas, like the fictional story of or the non-fictional version of Pocahontas, like not like a Disney version where they're like a prince and they fall in love and they're singing. It's a very realistic version of that, and it's scary. It's like a nightmare. And there's nothing about the movie that's scary. They're not that one. It's just the terrifying to look at. The other VHS I have is a Pinocchio movie called The Adventures of Pinocchio. I think what happened is my mom saw that one day at a store and assumed it was the Disney version and bought it for me. I think it's made by a Swedish or German, someone definitely from Europe made this movie. It's animated, like old style, like 2D animation. It's pretty old. They're definitely from like the 60s or 70s. And it is so terrifying. There's death in this. There's suicide. There is lynching. There's, I would say, borderline pedophilia. And I watched that movie when I was like 4 or 5 all the time. Like I just watched that movie tons. I made Cynthia watch it, and she thinks that's what's wrong with me today. We should sit down and watch this sometime. Oh my god. My cats just destroyed everything.
That was so loud. What did they do?
What did you guys do?
Knock over the pops.
Oh my god. So, yeah, if you ever want to be like scared to death and go see some like lost media, go look up The Adventures of Pinocchio and try and find this like weird 2D animation one that's like really old and not from Disney.
Yeah.
We should definitely watch it sometime. But it is the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like, it is truly, like, the part that really kills me, right, is and I won't get too much into it, but there's a part where he pretty much is like, I'd rather die. I'm okay with dying. And then to prove that he won't die, a group of people with like a handmade casket for him walk in, right, and with like a knife, and they're like, okay, are you ready to fucking die? And he's like, no, I guess not. And then he dies anyway, and he gets like strung up and lynched, right? I think, or no, actually he gets lynched before all this. But anyway, earlier in the movie, he gets literally lynched, and like he's swinging from a tree for like days, and then he gets like he falls down and brought back to life just to get like tortured and almost killed again. It is truly a graphic movie. But if you're into like creepy stuff, search it, watch it. It is so weird.
That's
Probably gonna get depression from watching that. It was so sad.
I think I might be
I
depressed.
think my life has changed since I watched it.
I think maybe I'm a depressed human because I watched that as a kid.
That makes me just want to go watch a regular movie, just like Matilda or something like
It's
that.
it's like really bad. Oh my god, I'm thinking that's when my life went bad.
After watching that movie, it's a cursed. It's like The Ring, how it's like a cursed VHS. I think this is the real life version of that. Like you watch this, and like depression will always be a cloud over your head. So watch at your own risk. Well, we've talked about Godzilla. We've talked about teenage celebrities. We've talked about the cursed Pinocchio movie. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add about our adventures at the movie theater?
A shout out to that redneck who went to the bathroom.
You never came back.
You can come out now.
You can come out. Oh man.
And we have a free ticket waiting for you.
Yeah. He's still in there. Like the movie theater's closed. He's still in there. He's like the janitor walks in and he's like, "Is the movie over?" Oh man. Oh, be sure to go watch Fast and Furious John Cena edition soon. It was really a joy to get to go back to the theaters. I'm glad that
It was nice.
I'm sick of COVID. I'm glad that we finally got to go enjoy that for the first time in like it feels like 2 years.
And that was my first IMAX in that theater.
That's my first time in that one.
Theater, yeah.
I've never been to the IMAX. It was great. Thank you for listening in on our kinda sorta Godzilla versus Kong review. I know we got off topic mostly, but it's been fun to talk about. I was very glad to get back to the movies, and hopefully we can go see some more and review some more. We've got free tickets, so in the future, look forward to that.
Yeah.
It's been great. Stay blessed. Thank you for watching our podcast.
And thank you. I'm so sorry I wasn't talking very much. Next time I'll be more interactive.
All right. Goodbye, audience. Kisses.